Everyone today is talking about the events in Iran, about the imminent fall of the Iranian regime. Western media says it's only a matter of time. They say the Iranian regime will end. But is this true? The key question today is, what if the Iranian regime falls? Who will benefit? Because the truth that the media doesn't talk about today is that the fall of the Iranian regime would be the most dangerous scenario the region has ever known throughout history. It would be the biggest risky shift in the region, and the only beneficiary would not be the Iranian people, nor the Arab countries, nor even America. How is that? Today's topic. Stay tuned. Dear viewers, peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings, and welcome to our renewed meeting today, God willing. From the series of opinion episodes that we dedicate to Iran and these protests and chaos happening in Iran, which threaten the fall of the Iranian regime, threaten the fall of this regime, according to what is being circulated today in all Western media outlets. But can these protests really lead to that? Will the fall of the Iranian regime now be beneficial for the Arab and Islamic nations? Before answering these questions, we will first address this opportunistic figure who only appears when there is conflict and tension threatening the Iranian regime. We are talking specifically about the son of the last king of Iran, Reza Pahlavi. As soon as these protests began in Iran and gradually turned into armed clashes with the Iranian security forces, Reza Pahlavi reappeared, as if it was Reza Pahlavi. He sent a flattering letter to the American President Trump, a letter in which he said that he was ready to return to Iran as soon as possible, meaning he was ready to take on the position of King of Iran again. And he said that the Iranian people know very well that Trump is not Barack Obama, nor is he Joe Biden, who previously let down the Iranian people. So according to him, the important thing is that he sent a flattering letter, a very obvious flattering letter, to the point that they made it sound like Trump asked him to intervene and leading the transitional phase in Iran. Is this true or not? That doesn't matter to him. It doesn't matter because the situation in Iran isn't that easy for the Iranian regime to fall. It's not that easy for Pahlavi to come from America and lead Iran. It's not that easy for the Pahlavi family to lead Iran again. And it is burdened with scandals, rejected internally by all Iranians, and it is also directly connected to Israel. Today, even if we assume that the Iranian regime has fallen, there will be no stability in Iran at all after that. Iran will then enter into a sectarian war that will never end. There will be foreign intervention from many international powers, each international power supporting a faction among these sects in order to control Iran, in order to have influence in Iran. We might witness a stage where Iran will be divided into 7 or 8 small states, so the situation in Iran is very dangerous. If this Iranian regime falls in this way, the only beneficiary at that time will be Israel. Who else but Israel? No party will benefit from the fall of the current Iranian regime, not even America will benefit at all. It is not in its interest for this regime to fall today. Be very aware that those who are committing acts of sabotage in Iran today have even attacked mosques in Iran. All the evidence indicates that Israel and Israeli intelligence are involved in everything happening in Iran today. What is Israel betting on now? They are betting on the separatists, the Baloch sect who want to establish their own state. This state would include part of Iran, US, and Pakistan. And they are also betting on the Baha'i sect, which operates from Albania and from Israel, from Haifa. And they are also betting on the son of the Shah of Iran, Reza Pahlavi, today. Even the Gulf countries like Saudi Arabia, for example, refuse the fall of the Iranian regime because they know very well that the only beneficiary from that would be Israel alone. Today, if we take a quick look at the accounts of Saudi elites on the X platform, if we observe the activity of the Saudi Electronic Army, like in the comments and so on, we will find that all the posts and tweets reject the fall of the Iranian regime and warn against it. Because Saudi Arabia now has a high level of awareness. It knows very well what is being plotted in secret, because what happened in some countries surrounding Saudi Arabia has made it understand exactly what is being planned there. It knows what's happening in Iran today isn't about overthrowing the regime, but about targeting Iran as a whole and seeking its total collapse. Israel wants there to be chaos, for there to be internal fighting. Why? So they can get rid of Iran's power? So that Iran becomes weak and exposed? Busy just like almost all the Arab countries, busy only with its own internal problems, border issues, other problems, basically internal problems. Meanwhile, Israel at that time will attack all of Iran's missile facilities and will bring Iran back to square one. It's exactly the same plan. It was in Sudan, it was in Yemen, it was in Somalia, it was also in Syria, and today it's in Syria. All the countries in the world, including America and Russia and so on, all the countries support Syria's territorial unity and support the government of Ahmad al-Shar. Except for Israel, which wants this country to remain in chaos, we find that it supports the separatist Kurdish movements in the north and supports the separatist Druze movements in the south. This is the leader of this Druze group. This is al-Hijri, who lives in Israel today. He made a statement saying that he wants to establish a Druze state in Syria supported by Israel. So basically we're talking about an Israeli state with just a different flag. It's the same plan. They also want to implement this in Iran. The real goal is to drag the country into constant security tension, internal fighting, at the very least, internal conflicts and sectarian strife. And so instead of this state supporting Arab or Islamic causes, for example, like the Palestinian cause, it becomes preoccupied only with its own issues. Today, the real problem facing Iran is the absence of an alternative. There is absolutely no alternative in Iran, so you end up going into a maze. Only a fool would believe that this Pahlavi will be the one to lead Iran through a transitional period. This means it's impossible for several reasons. First, as I said, the country has many sects, and these sects are completely incompatible. They can't agree on someone who lives off America's wealth, comes from America, suddenly appears, only shows up on special occasions, exploits these events, takes advantage of the situation, and then comes to rule them in the end. That's impossible. The second thing is that this Pahlavi has absolutely no supporters in Iran, and he is completely rejected by all the Iranian people. Even if there are flags of the Kingdom of Iran, previous flags of Iran being raised, that doesn't mean the Pahlavi family will return. It doesn't mean they're raising the Pahlavi flag. The Iranian people today, especially the youth, have a rosy image of the Kingdom of Iran. They feel nostalgic for a past they didn't actually live through. They've only seen some videos, some pictures about the previous Iran, about the former Kingdom of Iran. So they think that life was beautiful in Iran during the king's era. It's exactly the same as during the period of French and British colonialism in the Arab countries. If we showed videos and pictures of Arab capitals from that era, everyone would say those were beautiful and wonderful days. Because they're only seeing one side, just the beautiful side. They don't see that the people who lived in those cities, owned apartments downtown, cars and so on, were living at those high levels. They are bourgeois collaborators. And only foreigners just occupying the land. So today, even in Iran, during the Shah's era, there was a lot of corruption and there was a lot of repression by the political police. Otherwise, why did Khomeini's revolution succeed in 1979? They took advantage of the opportunity. It succeeded then because there was a popular revolution. The people were not at all satisfied with the Shah's rule, with the widespread corruption and oppression, and so on. Today, there is no one in Iran who wants to return to the Shah's rule. And what's strange is that this corruption stayed with them even in exile. When they fled from Iran to America, they lived in scandals, failures, and very great tragedies. There was the Shah's sister, who worked as a model, was addicted to drugs, and in the end, she committed suicide. There was another brother who did the same thing. He also committed suicide, just recently in 2011. As for Reza, he is also known for loving money to the point of fraud and deception. He avoids paying salaries to his personal servants. There have always been lawsuits against him in court about his evasion of paying the salaries of one of his personal employees in America. I mean, what do you expect from someone like this? Repeated visits to Israel, and besides that, a meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu, and today he believes that America and Israel will make him king over Iran. There will be nothing but chaos and fighting in Iran if the Iranian regime falls. Some people today, when they see Trump's statements supporting the protests, saying that he is planning a military intervention, calling on the protesters to continue and so on, believe that America will actually intervene militarily and settle things. But pay close attention, all of this is only up to this moment. It falls within the framework of media and psychological warfare. Trump, after the successful operation to arrest Maduro and the success of this new weapon, artificial intelligence might actually mean it will give orders for military intervention in Iran, but don't expect the same results. Iran said that any intervention from America will make it strike Israel and all American military bases in the region. We haven't seen this threat from Maduro, just so everyone knows. We haven't seen this threat from Maduro or from the Maduro regime. In Venezuela, not at all. I used to see Iran making threats, so Trump might risk a military intervention in Iran, thinking he will get the same results as in Venezuela, but no one can guarantee that. The situation is completely different. Iran is not Venezuela. There are hypersonic missiles now, which are changing the equation. They changed the equation during the 12-day war. Today there are drones, there is the Revolutionary Guard with more than 500,000 soldiers, and there is also the Iranian army with more than 500,000 soldiers, so the same results cannot be guaranteed. Pay close attention. The closer we get to the year 2027, the more tension and conflict will intensify, and the closer we get to different scenarios regarding the disappearance of Israel. We can't determine exactly how that will happen, but it is coming regardless. The escalation against Iran may have very serious consequences for Israel, these events happening in Iran. With these developments happening globally today, the major conflicts involving Russia, Europe, China and America, it is certain that things are being prepared for something great to come. If the situation escalates further, the entire region, the Middle East, will explode completely. That's why the Arabs today are not intervening. The Arabs are watching the situation from a distance, silently. They are not supporting these protests, nor are they supporting the Iranian regime. They are just observing. At the same time, they do not prefer the scenario of the Iranian regime falling now, during this period, in this way, because they know very well about this plan. They know what will happen if this regime falls in this manner. It will only benefit Israel, which will gain more influence in some areas of Iran and become stronger. Perhaps when it starts announcing the Greater Israel Project, it will invade Syria and Lebanon. There are multiple scenarios, but rest assured, all the scenarios are heading toward the scenario of demise. Whatever the reality in Iran, whatever the events, however they unfold, these events are moving toward the scenario of demise, because there are things being prepared for this scenario. Write to us in the comments about how this escalation in Iran might end. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the button. Peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings. See you next time.